What up? It's Casper. Today's video, we're going to be talking about the movie Elf. Elf is a 2003 film. It's rated PG and it's an hour and 37 minutes. Directed by Jon Favreau. This review is going to be very biased. This is one of my favorite Will Ferrell movies and an interesting perspective, to be honest. And it just shows that when you're involved with movies, you just put your ideas and just put them out there. You just got to be confident in what you do. And I really enjoyed the fact that good actors and good people on set to basically put that vision to life. Shout out to the directing. There wasn't nothing off for me that I felt like his directing wasn't being up to par. Every moment, especially with Will Ferrell in this movie, he is nailing it. A lot of good angles to show funny moments, a lot of good angles to just show that even the people dealing with Buddy are going through it basically in disbelief that there's a guy in this elf suit walking around like it's normal. A lot of people played a key part in his directing, and that's the fun that I feel like this movie brought, and you could feel that vibe throughout this whole movie. Any vibe that you see in this movie, it all felt warm, it felt good. It's really cool to know that I've seen a James Caan movie. In The Godfather, that was basically like my introduction of seeing like a really good performance. Obviously that was years ago in his younger stage of his career, but being able to see him in this movie, I really feel like he nailed it on that father, egotistic, nothing but work vibes. James Caan in this movie was just straight awesome, complimented Will Ferrell's character on just being the opposite. As much as he was like the pure opposite of Will Ferrell's character, he complimented that whole vibe and that whole Christmas holiday spirit that they were going through. He definitely didn't have no Christmas spirit at all. The lines that they gave him, I really felt like they're very effective, and they're pretty funny at times too. I can only imagine like sitting down reading this script. I'm already knowing that James Caan had an idea on how to just put this performance out. Everything made sense for his character, and he's just basically the opposite of his own son, which is just makes it more comedy. Will Ferrell playing the character Buddy, this is one of those movies that just goes hand in hand with Will Ferrell's personality. I really like the fact that Will Ferrell is just comedy without even trying to be comedy. There's a lot of moments while growing up that I saw Will Ferrell on TV at a Laker game, and he even brings his personality or a character to those games to make everyone laugh. That's what he does. He is a goofball, and he knows how to make very quiet, awkward, weird scenarios into a funny one, a very laughable moment, and something where like, wow, that was cheesy, but he nailed it on point. Only Will Ferrell can pull off this performance. Playing the character Buddy, very believable acting on used to being in the North Pole and then adjusting to that fast life, that city life of New York. This is an iconic role for Will Ferrell. This movie, Will Ferrell is going to make you laugh. He's going to tell a really good story. You're going to see a lot of his confused moments on just adjusting to the real life. It is cheesy on just him dealing with the North Pole stuff, but that's just the funny humor that this movie has. And there's a lot of scenarios in here that kind of gave it like the Blue's Clues vibes. Those characters in the beginning when Buddy was leaving the North Pole, those characters that were saying bye to him, I really like that he had a flow of being in one world and going to another one, and it was literally a whole 180, something he did not expect. Character you just want to follow along, you root for him, and you feel sad for him as well because people are treating him like a psycho. So you can definitely feel his moments where he's just not appreciative, but that's just how Will Ferrell does. He makes his roles very believable. Shout out to that costume design. I can only imagine showing up to work and having to wear that every single day. Will Ferrell was a straight boss. Thank you for putting out this performance as Buddy and Elf. One of my favorite moments with Will Ferrell being Buddy in this movie is when he finally meets his dad, but it's the introduction stage. So there's a scene where Buddy ends up sleeping on like at a store window, and it's very funny, even with the camera placement on just showing that expression of him waking up and seeing his dad from that window. I would say perfect camera placement because that was just straight top tier hilarious. Like Will Ferrell's face on just seeing his dad. His eyes were glowing when he saw his dad. You can definitely see that Will Ferrell's character, aka Buddy, saw the sunshine, aka his dad. So that was just very funny. And then when you look at his dad, the complete opposite. This dude did not want to even acknowledge that his own son was sleeping in there. He wasn't even trying to believe that that's his son. So that's what makes it more comedy. Neglecting his son in that scene, and he just walks away. Other moments as well. It's just him dealing with Zooey Deschanel. emotional. Him falling in love, him dealing with the fake Santa. Flow is absolutely real, and every moment just builds up to something like, oh wow, like out of nowhere. Thank you for giving us that. That was funny. That was unique. That was creative. Will Ferrell, absolutely great job in this movie. Zooey Deschanel plays the character Jovi. I'm used to her look always having those bangs. So in this movie, when she didn't have the bangs and she actually had blonde hair, kind of threw me off and I didn't recognize her. Really innocent look, believable look as well, in senses of like her just working at that mall. Really like the fact that she was the one that had to deal with Buddy, especially in the love side of it. Side in the movie where you're like, you can't wait for them to see each other again. Shocker for me is that she was actually singing in this movie, and she has a really good voice, a classic voice, and definitely has that Christmas vibe voice as well. So she actually sings a song in here called Baby It's Cold Outside. That was a banger, to be honest. Really love that song and really like the vibe of it. Feels really good, and I really like her tone. And once again, who's there right next to her? Will Ferrell singing with her. So another funny scene. Whenever she got brought back up in the movie, you're like, oh, there she is again. Thank goodness she's back. Made the movie feel a lot more full. So definitely a lot of these characters, good casting on just making this overall movie feel full. Zooey Deschanel, she was an enjoyable character. You didn't mind her at all. She's so serious but funny as well because she's looking at Buddy being Buddy. Mary Steenburgen plays Emily Hobbs. She's the wife of James Caan in this movie. I know her from Step Brothers. This vibe of the movie, you're bringing back people you know is going to make this project work, and she was one of those actresses in this movie that made this movie work. Just the nice mom, the mom that was always there just being supportive. She was the sweet side of the movie where it backed up Buddy a lot. She is a cool mom in this movie. The son as well, the brother, is another compliment to Will Ferrell's character Buddy, so I really like how that bond ended up building. Faizon Love plays the manager at the mall. He's hilarious. He knew what he had to do as well, and he's just overboard, over dramatic. He has funny moments in here too, and he presented those lines on point. But overall, this movie is very hilarious. You're gonna enjoy this movie. It's definitely a holiday family movie, so definitely put this movie on. It's gonna fly by very quick. Like I said, only an hour 37 minutes. Perfect background movie to put on for even a family party. The soundtrack's dope, good vibes. After my watching the movie Elf out of 10, I'm gonna have to give this movie a 10 out of 10. That's my movie review for the movie Elf. Shout out to you guys for tuning into the video. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace, y'all.